This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the 40th Annual New Orleans Investment Conference 2014. I have with me Greg Johnson of Wellgreen Platinum. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbols are WG on the TSX Venture and WGPLF on the US. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. Tell us about Wellgreen.
Wellgreen is a very exciting story. Brand new team came in here in 2012. Over the last 2 years, we've doubled our resource in platinum and palladium, located in the Yukon, and an open pit deposit to almost 20 million ounces, making it one of the largest undeveloped platinum palladium resources in the world.
This is big.
This is big.
This is not, ladies and gentlemen, 20 million ounces of platinum, to my understanding, could be one of the largest discoveries in the world.
Certainly outside of South Africa. 90% of the world's platinum and palladium is in South Africa or Russia. So this is quite unique. These kind of rocks, much like diamonds, are very rare where they occur geologically, and we happen to have one of the biggest deposits in the world located in a friendly mining jurisdiction like Yukon in Canada, right next to a highway.
I'm excited. When did this all come about?
Well, actually, this was a former operating mine. It was discovered in the 1950s when they were building the Alaska Highway through the Yukon up to Alaska. There was a lot of exploration that went on in that vintage. They discovered a high-grade deposit that they initially started production in 1970. This was Hud Bay, one of Canada's mid-size copper producers. They mined it for several years, and then because of falling metal prices, the mine was shut down. Since the late 80s, the project's been looked at on and off as an open pit, and now we understand, because of the scale of this deposit, that this is like a porphyry scale, but platinum, palladium, nickel, copper. It's going to be a huge, scale operation. It will be a mine. We've got a great relationship with our local native community, and the government couldn't be more positive to support mining development in the Yukon.
But meanwhile, you're sitting as this micro-cap, emerging growth, junior exploration company, correct?
Oh, it's amazing, actually, right now. But we've been through a bear market for the last 3+ years, as I'm sure your listeners are quite familiar in their portfolios.
I think we all know.
But the quality companies are holding their own, and this is an excellent opportunity in the marketplace to buy attractive, high-quality assets.
So what's your background?
I'm an exploration geologist by training. I spent the first part of my career with Placer Dome Barrick. The rest of our team, Xstrata, Vale, Homestake. So our team has spent 3 decades, each of us, in the mining industry, working on big projects in the north, and this is a perfect fit for us. This is my 3rd public company. I'm an original co-founder at Nova Gold, a company we took from the same size, $50 million market cap, to a $2 billion company. Of my 3 companies, I am the most excited about Wellgreen Platinum.
I was going to ask you that. So let me talk about metals prices for a minute.
Sure.
What effect does the downturn in the metals prices have for you moving forward?
For our project, today's metal prices work just fine. So we are using conservative metal price assumptions already in our economics. We don't need higher metal prices to move forward. This project looks very robust at today's metal prices.
If you talk about 2015, it's almost here.
Yep.
What do you see on the horizon for the company in 2015?
Well, I guess I'm an optimist, and I think, historically, if you look back over the last 30 years, there's not been a bear market in our sector for more than 3 or 4 years at most. So I'm optimistic that the worst is probably behind us, and that perhaps we're close to a bottom here. And for 2015, we're moving into the pre-feasibility stage on this project. So this is the point where the big institutional investors start to get really interested in your story. They've got real data, real engineering to be able to look at and to digest. And the outcomes that are coming from our current studies, which we've got a series of them that will be delivered over the next couple of months, are quite exciting.
Isn't there a chance that you may not get too much further than you are going if a big company comes and says, okay, we want you? Because that's a possibility, isn't it?
It is. In our sector, 80% of the acquisitions happen between pre-feasibility and feasibility, and that's where we're going to be in the next 2 years. So actually, from our team's point of view, we think we've got a year or 2 to add as much value as we can for our shareholders, and then likely this is going to be a target for the big companies to take over, either the platinum companies who are stuck in South Africa or Russia, or the big base metal companies who look at the diversification of nickel, copper, and platinum group metals as very attractive in a first world jurisdiction like Canada.
So, Greg, let me understand this correctly. The amount of find that you have in North America, talk about. I mean, it's huge. It's in North America. That's the key point, isn't it?
Absolutely. And if you look at recent comparable valuations for companies at our stage, the Canaccord Genuity report that was just published, the average trading value for those companies today in this bear market we've been in is around $20 an ounce. Today, the company is trading at around $3 an ounce.
Okay, you take that information, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the website, and that website is?
Wellgreenplatinum.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wellgreen Platinum. This is Greg Johnson. The publicly traded company, I'm going to give you two symbols, WG on the TSX Venture and WGPLF in the US. I'm Shelley Craft, this is SNNLive, and we're at the 40th Annual New Orleans Investment Conference 2014 right here in NOLA. Thanks again for coming on to SNNLive.
Thanks for having us.